Hello, everypony, and welcome to another installment in my unscripted review series. I still haven't come up with a name. I don't want to waste your time though. Metal Gear Solid Triangle Snake Eater. I'm someone with a casual interest in the Metal Gear series. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that MGS3 is a good one to start with, at least from what I've heard. I played the original MGS3 a little while ago, but I never wound up finishing it. I can't say the same for the new MGS Triangle remake that just came out recently, because I don't know how I did it, but I managed to play 90% of this game in one night, and I also wrote this review in that same night. You'll never guess when I started recording this. I haven't slept in days. Without any more dilly-dallying though, let's get into the actual review itself. First off, I'm talking about the gameplay. I didn't write too much down on this because I don't really have a whole lot to say about the gameplay, but it is really immersive. I do like all the little survivalist techniques, but those are from the original game, and they work pretty similarly, or actually pretty much the exact same as the original Metal Gear Solid 3, so I'm glad they've kept things relatively the same as the original. Speaking of, I don't think they changed too much, at least from what I've played. I didn't play a whole lot. Like I said, I never finished the original, but they didn't change too much from what I've played, and it also felt really refreshing still at the same time, which is very good and something that's kind of hard to capture in remakes. I also don't know if this is intentional, but the game kind of felt a little bit janky, but I think it kind of felt janky in a charming way, if that makes any sense. Before you start every save, it lets you have a choice between if you want to use modern controls or classic controls, and I picked modern controls. They didn't really feel too different from the actual classic controls, but I guess that's probably just me not remembering my actual playthrough of the original as well. I don't know. Overall, the gameplay is pretty good. That's my rating. Next, I'd like to talk about the graphics. They look nice, but some of the animations look reused from the original PS2 games, so they do look very uncanny together. I don't know if they are reused from the original, but some of like the boss fights, they look very weird. I don't know how to really explain it, but they do look like they're using reused animations, which hey, Yakuza has been doing this for way longer, so I can't really complain about reusing animations. I also wrote something on my notes to make a snide remark about Unreal Engine 5 because I don't like Unreal Engine 5, which this game is made on. Pretend I just said something really rude and really disrespectful about the engine. Although apparently on release and a little bit before release, like when people were getting review copies for the game, there was this weird issue where it wouldn't work as well on the PS5 Pro, but it would work decently on the PS5. I don't know if this is still an issue that goes on, where it just performs much poorer on the PS5 Pro for whatever reason. I can't test this out and verify it because I don't own a PS5 Pro, I just own the regular PS5. But that's kind of funny, and that's just something that you gotta deal with when making a game on Unreal Engine 5, I guess. There's the Snyder mark. Fuck Unreal Engine 5. Now onto the audio. The voice lines were all the same, which made sense considering the game was 20 years old and some of the VAs have passed away by now. I don't think that the voice acting's bad or anything. I just think sometimes I look at it and I wonder, does that voice fit this character? But I do think the game overall didn't really need any recasted voices or re-voiced over lines, because they do still work. It's just occasionally you can see some lines that either haven't aged well with, like, not because they said anything bad or anything, but just because they don't seem, they just seem kind of uncanny to say, I guess. I can't really explain it. There's just some weird thing with some of the bits of this game that just make me go, what the hell? The music was also good. The opening theme was remade, which I think is cool. I don't know about the rest of the OST though. I do think I do think it's cool that they got the original singer Cynthia Harrell to do the theme song again after all these years. The only thing that can make this remake better is why is he gold? Yeah, the costumes in this game are quite interesting to say the least. So, the whole thing about this game, if you don't know, is that you get camouflages and sometimes different disguises that you can put on. I believe this is from one of the pre-order bundles, or I think this is the one of the pre-order rewards that you get. But one of the skins that you can put on is just Snake, but fucking gold, and it's really funny. I don't know why, but I kept it on for a lot of my gameplay, because for one, it makes you faster, which is cool. Uh, it but it's just funny to look at. It is immersion breaking. All these costumes are pretty immersion breaking, other than maybe some of the camouflages that you get, especially the ones that you get post game. But these camouflages are just they're fun to play around with. I can't tell you how much time I spent in the menus just messing around, seeing what camouflages there were to play around with. For a game like Metal Gear, which is occasionally serious, I'm not gonna say it's an overall serious game. Sometimes guys just fucking explode for some reason. Uh, I don't know what's going on, but that was just the thing that happened. But even then, I think having silly little goofy costumes can maybe break the immersion just a little bit. But I think they're fun, and I like when games add little things that like optional little costumes or things like that. And I like how they also appear in cutscenes. I love when games have silly costumes, and I love it even more when you can see them in the cutscenes and they look as silly and goofy as they do. This game does costumes very well. That's basically all I have to say about the costumes. So, in conclusion, the game is good. It's very faithful to the original, at least from what I've played. Like I said, I think it's good, and it was very fun. It was definitely very fun, and I think it's one of those games I'll probably replay it. Maybe not this year, but maybe in a couple of months I'll try and move it back to my main drive because I have it on an external drive now. But yeah, I think it was fun, and it's definitely one of those games I'll have to play it again soon. Finally, is it worth $70? Kinda. I like the game, but if you've played MGS3 already, then I think you should probably just wait for it to go on sale, at least before you pick this one up. It's worth playing, but there isn't a whole lot that justifies its steep price. If it were $50, then maybe, but $70 is the price of full new games nowadays that aren't remakes. Hell, Resident Evil 4 Remake didn't even ask for that much when it came out. It's really up to you if you want to get this. I think it has something for everyone, whether you're a newer fan like me or someone who is really into the series. Probably. I don't do any, like, ratings or anything in these videos, so, I thought it was good. That's my final thought.
I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down.